Welcome back to Tabletop Assault. I'm Ross, and today I'm going to continue my segments on analysing the Chaos Space Marine Codex. Today I'm going to talk about the Chaos Sorcerer. I'm going to look at the Chaos Sorcerer in general, but I'm also going to look at the Terminator armour variety as well. How these sort of reviews work is that I'm going to do an analysis of their stats and their war gear and special abilities. I'll then go into sort of like loadout and configurations I kind of like, artifacts and relics that might be useful if they can take them, Legion traits, Warlord traits, psychic abilities, which this one's kind of all about, stratagems, and a wee conclusion on what I think of the unit in general. So with that, I'm going to look at the Chaos Sorcerer. Let's begin with the one not in Terminator armour. For the record, there is ones I think you can also get on bike as well. I'm mainly focusing on Codex variety units, not so much index focused ones. I might come back to them later in popular demand, but for now I'm just focusing on the Codex. So, Chaos Sorcerer, movement 6, which is on average, weapon skill and ballistic skill 3. Now for an HQ choice that's a bit low, got to accept it really for librarians, sorcerers, you know, sort of the backup psychic focused units. So yeah, it'd be nice if it was 2, but I think we might be asking too much of the world. Strength and toughness 4, average for a Marine. Wounds 4, which is a bit lower than a Chaos Lord. I think their wounds 5, so it's a little bit more squishier. Attacks 3, less than a Chaos Lord, but not as little as I thought. 3 attacks is still something to go by. Leadership 9, on par, and a 3+ save. Again, on average if you're not in some kind of mega armour, you know. The Sorcerer's armed with a Force Sword, interesting. Bolt Pistol, Frag and Crack Grenades. I won't go into all the different types of weapons and stuff you can get for them because there's a lot of general stuff. The model may replace its Bolt Pistol with one item from the Pistols, Combi Weapon and Melee lists. I'll again go into a bit more detail on what configurations I like. The model may replace its Force Sword with a Force Stave or Force Axe. So you've got those choice of Force weapons as you see fit. The model may take Jump Pack, power rating +1. If it does this, its move characteristic is increased to 12 and it gains Jump Pack and Fly keywords. I really like Jump Pack Sorcerer, I'll talk about them in general. They offer a lot for what they can do. In terms of special abilities, they have Death to the False Emperor. If you don't know what that is by now, it's basically you can get extra attacks if you are attacking Imperium units. Not so much needed for Chaos Sorcerers, but hey, you know, we've got 3 attacks as it is, you might as well get extra. Won't go into detail because it's really long. Jump Pack Assault during deployment. If the model has Jump Pack, you can set it up in the high up in the skies instead of placing it on the battlefield. At the end of your movement phase, the model can assault from above, set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. Really handy in terms of mobility to get the precision strikes of your Sorcerer. I'll talk about that a bit later in terms of my favourite loadouts. You might hear me talk about Jump Pack Suite. Yeah. Psychic abilities. This model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in each enemy psychic phase. It knows Smite psychic power and 2 psychic powers from the Dark Hereticus discipline. So yeah, 2 psychic abilities, 1 deny, can cast 2 and no Smite as well. Really handy. I'll talk about my favourite loadouts of psychic abilities and ones that work really well, though I'm extremely eager to hear your thoughts as well. Sorcerer in Terminator armour. Movement 5, so you're losing that inch of movement because you're a bit heavier. Weapon skill and ballistic skill 3, well, Terminator armour isn't making you any more accurate than you already were. Toughness and strength and toughness 4. We know that Terminator armour doesn't add on armour similar to, you know, toughness similar to, you know, Death Guard and the Space Marine variant that came out a while back. But that's what you expect from Terminator armour, but you do get extra buffs later on. Wounds 5, so you've gone up a wounds, so you're a bit more tougher. You're actually less wounds still than a Chaos Lord in Terminator armour, but you've gone up than a regular Sorcerer. Still 3 attacks. It's not really your job to go in combat. Chaos Sorcerer and Terminator armour. Leadership 9, yep, and 2+ save, so you're shrugging off more wounds. So you've got more wounds and shrugging them off. Survivability, cool. Sorcerer in Terminator armour is a single model armed with Force Stave and a Combi Bolter. Again, I will not go and discuss all the stats of the war gear you can choose. This model replaces Combi Bolter with one item from the combi weapons list, or Terminator melee list as well. This model replaces Force Stave with Force Axe or Force Sword. So you've got a variety of the Force weapons there, and you get a bit of variety when it comes to combi weapons or Terminator melee weapons as well. Death to the False Emperor, same as above, as I said. Terminator armor, this model has a 5+ invul save. Interestingly, you don't have an invul save for a regular Chaos Sorcerer, so it's adding more survivability on that one as well. You know, extra wound, extra save, and a 5+ invul. Terminator armor is looking quite nice to keep your guy alive. Teleport Strike, during deployment you can set up a Sorcerer in Terminator armor in a teleportarium chamber instead of placing him on the battlefield. At the end of your movement phase, you can use a Teleport Strike to arrive on the battlefield, set him up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches away from an enemy model. Deep Strike, you know, we kind of know it, we love it, it's very handy for a Chaos Sorcerer. Sorcerer in general really actually like the mobility and the precision placing of them. So I'll go into that again a bit later on. This model can attempt to manifest 2 psychic abilities in each friendly psychic phase and attempt to deny 1 psychic power in each enemy psychic phase. It knows Smite, Psychic Power, and 2 Psychic Powers from the Dark Hereticus discipline. Similar to the Chaos Sorcerer, just the difference is here in Terminator armor in terms of the powers that are available. So yeah, super handy on that one. Loadouts and suggestions. This is really sort of why I suggest the role that Chaos Sorcerer can play in the army and the loadout that best works with it. So I call this one Coming Along for the Ride Rhino Passenger Loadout. Sorcerer with Bolt Pistol, Force Axe, or possibly Force Sword. So basic on foot Sorcerer, take Force Axe for a few points more to defend better, but the simple function of this is you're in the Rhino or sitting in the back line, you know, keeping things basic but have a target as a buff. So if you're in the back line, you probably want to buff a couple of units around you, or if you're in a Rhino and it's a hard hitting combat unit, you want to jump out with them, buff them up, possibly prescience, warp time, I'm giving spoilers of my plan, and that basically pushes the unit forward to cause quite a bit of chaos. Haha. So yeah, that's sort of my on foot basic one. My next one is called You Gotta Jump. Sorcerer with Bolt Pistol, Force Axe or Sword, and a jump pack. So I really like Sorcerer with a jump pack, like a lot. I should really get one. They've become fairly cheap and mainly allows you to synergize well with precision placing your Sorcerer where they need to be to buff units. An affordable way to get the most out of them, and can move up and down the battlefield very easily, being able to hopefully avoid danger but get those buffs where they need to be. The precision striking of being able to jump in is absolutely essential. Next up you've got You Gotta Jump but Survive. Sorcerer and Terminator armor, Combi Bolter with Force Axe or Sword. You achieve the same as the jump variety where you get a precision strike, but in exchange you get survivability. Extra wounds, 2+ save, an important 5+ invul, which is very important, it's difficult to get one. Basically you're giving up your mobility later in the game for survivability, so you've got to choose if you're going to go down the alpha strike of deep striking stuff in, or having your Chaos Sorcerer deep striking. Do you want them to be more mobile or more of a survival? Up to you in that one. Artifacts of Chaos and Relics. Yeah, I kind of struggled here. You know who's got good artifacts of Chaos Sorcerer and stuff? I think those Thousand Suns probably do. Only one I can see here is ironically a Tzeentch Psyker. Tzeentch Psyker only. The Bearer of the Eye of Tzeentch adds 1 to their psychic test when attempted to manifest the Smite power. I don't love it, it's kind of handy. There's some great relics in here that will work for other characters. Chaos Sorcerer, not so much. Am I wrong? Let me know. I have seen one other alternative loadout, but I wasn't too keen on it. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of it though. You know, let me know what you guys use. Legion traits. So Legion traits are certified by your detachment and units that are going to be getting the most benefit from it. In all honesty, I don't see many that benefit the sorcerer as such. You have combat stuff, you have mobility stuff. Combat's not really your thing, you don't want to be getting up and close with him as such. Still though, which ones suit best? Alpha Legion, hidden in plain sight. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls that target units with this trait if they are more than 12 inches away. So your sorcerer doesn't really want to be up and close with your opponents. I mean, he will be if he has to be. You know, other guys need buffs, so hidden plain sight just gives you that little bit of a defense boost. Especially if you're buffing from the back lines, though I don't think I have tried this one myself. From the back lines there's probably not much threatening your Chaos Sorcerer Lord. If he's the nearest unit within 12 inches, knowing the targeting character rule, you've been placing stuff down wrong. But yeah, it's kind of a handy one as a defensive boost. Night Lord's Terror Tactics. Models in the enemy unit must subtract 1 from the leadership characteristic for each unit within 6 inches with this trait that is within 6 inches of theirs, to a maximum of -3. So this one works if it's better if you're in and about your opponent, you know, especially if you're a jump sorcerer, you know, it gives you the mobility to go in there and scale them. But that means you've got to get your sorcerer really close to your opponent, and I am not a fan of that because traditionally he might not win. So yeah, it's a tricky one on that one. Not many of the Legion traits that I think work particularly well with Chaos Sorcerer as such. But those are 2 options that I thought might work quite well for them. Warlord traits. Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm not big on Sorcerer being a Warlord, you know, after all, there is the Thousand Suns Codex. But still, we've got to go down this route, and if you're going down your Psyker being a Warlord, bring a Demon Prince, or play Thousand Suns. That's really cheeky to say. Cool. Unholy Fortitude. Add 1 to the wound characteristic of your Warlord. In addition, roll a dice for each time your Warlord loses a wound, and on a 6, they shrug it off, and no wound is lost. If you're truly dedicated to the idea of a Warlord Sorcerer, that ain't Thousand Suns, this will clearly keep your Warlord alive. While the Sorcerer needs to be, you know, which is handy because, you know, your Sorcerer kind of wants to be alive. Everyone on the field probably wants to keep going. So if you're going to go down this route, then yeah, you know, Sorcerer, keep him alive, super handy. Alpha Legion, I am Alpharius. Can I make the same joke I made in the Chaos Lord video? You know, you just want to have fun? No? Well, yeah, I'm not going to go into this one, it's super long, but if you're playing Alpha Legion, this is a fun Warlord trait. Oh, I killed your Warlord! No you didn't, I get a new Warlord trait. It's a lot of fun. You just know how to party if you're Alpha Legion. Who doesn't love Alpha Legion? Iron Warriors, Cold and Bitter. Friendly Iron Warrior units within 6 inches of your Warlord automatically pass morale tests. Do you know how much 200 Cultists costs? About 800 points. Do you know how many shots Chaos Cultists get in rapid fire? 400. Do you know how much they cost in cash or to your soul to paint? Well, you get this in a Sorcerer and they won't be running, you just have him surrounded by Cultists, you've got to pick all those guys off because they're not breaking. Add prescience on them if you want as well, and you're just putting out a whole bunch of shots, loads of them will die in droves, but if you've managed to paint 200 Cultists, and if you manage to get that perfect 400 you know, rapid fire, you know, 400 rapid firing shots, please film it, send it to me, I'd love to see it, sounds amazing, sounds fun. I might do that one day. I don't own 200 Cultists. Yeah. Psychic abilities. So here we go. This is the section that this is all about. I'm going to talk a wee bit differently here. Usually I talk about what abilities help a unit function, but really what I'm going to talk about is the best loadouts for sorcerers. The ones to really define their role in terms of a sorcerer. So one I've got here is Prescience and Infernal Gaze. So not my preferred loadout, but maybe good for like a battlefield sorcerer. Throwing out Mortal Wounds and Smite, if there's infiltrators or things getting nearby, you can hurt them a wee bit. You've got, you know, Smite, Infernal Gaze helping there. Well, sitting with Havocs or Heavy Hitters, you can add Prescience on there as well, if you're not going to cast one of the damaging ones, and add +1 to hit, which is kind of nice. Not ideal as it requires something to be a bit closer for you to cause damage, but ideal for buffing those backline units. Death X and Prescience. So this is a combination I would like on a Jump Lord or a Terminator Sorcerer. Drop your Sorcerer in along with Terminators with Combi Plasma to rapid fire. Cast Prescience so you can supercharge without fear of dying. And most importantly, cast Death X on a unit of Storm Shields. I hate Storm Shields so much. And watch these, you know, I think they're hitting on 2s, they're going to be wounding on 2s, and I think they cost 2 damage. We'll delete those Thunderhammer Storm Shields like no tomorrow. Just keep in mind for that all to work beautifully. Do not fail a single one of these spells. They will cause a lot of damage and it'll be a lot of fun, but don't fail. I really like this one. I really want to try. I really need to buy Terminators. Try this, maybe with Chaos Lord and Jump Pack as well, so you can reroll those ones as well. Maybe a bit overkill to have both, but you can cause a heck of amount of damage. So yeah, that's kind of like my preferred one if you're going for an Alpha Strike shooting unit. Chaos Sorcerer or Jump Pack, Death X and Prescience. Next up we have Prescience and Warp Time. So let's face it, these abilities are awesome. You want to get that big unit of Berserkers into combat head on 2+, well this is the ticket. Yeah, the Berserkers may not be eager in the sack themselves, but they'll enjoy the slaughter. Honestly, if you're using Alpha Legion or deep striking a scary unit in, then this loadout will go well with them. Just getting an easier chance to cause damage, and also a chance to obviously make sure you get within range is super ideal. You can also put in a Rhino squad etc and throw them into combat hitting really hard. Generally I like this loadout and I use it quite a lot for what I've got at the moment, but I really want to try the jump one as well with loads of plasma options there. Stratagem recommendations. Chaos Familiar, 1 command point. Use the stratagem at the start of the psychic phase. Select friendly Heretic Status Psyker. This model can replace its psychic power with a power from the choice in the Dark Hereticus discipline. So this is not really one I would bank on as such, your Psyker, but it's one that you can keep in mind. Smite is replaceable if needed, but certain abilities may be required at certain times and you didn't choose them, then this is super handy to just remember to switch them out and maybe get better use of them later on. Let's put a for instance, I don't know if you can do this one, say you're a Chaos Lord that rolled in Chaos Boon Table, turned into Demon Prince, you're like, whoa, that's awesome. And then you wanted to, then you're like, I don't have Diabolic Strength. Change out a spell, get Diabolic Strength, and your Demon Prince is even stronger. A lot of ifs there, but might be fun. You know, I don't know if you can do that, I made that on the spot. But yeah, Chaos Familiar allows you for those backup times and you're like, I wish I had that ability, I'm gonna take it. Forward operations, Alpha Legion only. This one's really long to explain, I'm not going to explain it. It's basically you can set yourself up to be an infiltration, have a wee read of it. So what you want to achieve with this is basically to infiltrate with another unit and buff them up and throw them at the enemy. Pray you get first turn, but a huge combat unit, cast Prescience, cast Warp Time on them and go nuts. I think I did this once roughly, I think I actually did a Demon Prince coming in, but it chucked them at them and it was devastating. It really does make a good Alpha Strike unit from Alpha Legion. I suppose you can do this as well if you want to go for a cheap unit, have Havocs or with plasma guns, infiltrate them in, infiltrate a Sorcerer, Prescience them so they don't fry themselves and have a good time. That works as well if you are infiltrating in. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the Chaos Sorcerer. I like it, I really need to try out Jump one. I think there's a lot of synergy with Alpha Strike and really tough sort of stuff that you can actually do with it. I put him in a Rhino sometimes if you're unpossessed and have him buff them up as he sees fit. But I really want to try out Jump variety. Really want to try out. Interested to hear what your thoughts on this, guys. Is there any relics that are any good to them? Let me know. What's your preferred sort of use you have for them? And what is your favourite combination of Dark Hereticus spells? I'm interested to hear, I'm sure many other viewers would like to hear from you and debate with you on what loadouts work the best. So thanks again for watching, please comment, share, like and subscribe. Check us out on social media and on Patreon because we put some stuff on there as well and it kind of helps us keep going. So thanks again and we'll see you on another Tabletop Assault Battle Report.